All right, welcome to another episode of It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today I have some very special guests. I'm very excited because these are like friends of mine. One is more of a friend than the other because I'm just learning to get to know Brad. Well, I don't mean like levels. Like I think I like Brad more than Sean. I've just known Sean longer.
Yeah, Sean's your older friend, but I'm your better friend, I think.
Oh, that's a bad. Yeah, you're my newer, better friend. Sean's my old, grizzled, kind of worn out friend. Yeah.
Sean's the friend that'll tickle you and pretend it's fighting.
I appreciate that, Brad. Thank you so much. Well, you guys are. First off, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show and saying that you will do the show with me. So we'll get going here. Sean, why don't you say where you're from and the podcast you guys do together, and then we'll go from there. But we'll talk about you in the podcast first.
Well, Brad and I are both now from Oak Harbor out in the Pacific Northwest of Whidbey Island, just south of you, Ryan, just south of you. But I'm originally from Toronto, Ontario, and I rep it. I don't care. Yeah, the 6 is following me everywhere, okay? Don't give me that look.
Yes, Toronto. The episode has already gone to the crapper with the Toronto mention. Okay, Brad, why don't you save us a little bit here? Where are you from?
Born and raised in the Pacific Northwest. My name is Brad Tesh. I am the co-host along with Sean. We do the A and B show, which is a sports podcast that you can find everywhere. Sean is the typical moved across the country kid, and he's just remade himself into being whatever he wanted. He's all the cool kids doing in Toronto. So apologies for his blustering. He also enjoys pro wrestling, so there's a bit of a heel in his attitude. So,
well, he actually is an ex-pro wrestler. Do you want to talk about your wrestling days there really quickly, Sean? You fought Hacksaw Jim Duggan at one point.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Wow, you remembered that. Wow.
Of course. It's one of my only stories I like about you.
Once we've seen you in that yellow banana hammock, Sean, it's really hard to forget that you fought Jim Hacksaw.
I know. I remember, here I am looking at Jim Hacksaw and like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Why am I saying Jim Hacksaw? Because of you, Brad. I'm looking at Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You think he's just a dumb guy. He used to play for the Argonauts, and ended up coming into wrestling. He had that big cocaine thing with him and the Iron Sheik in the vehicle traveling together, which was like terrible. I was there, got to talk to him before the match, and then all of a sudden we're in the middle of the match. The banana hammock has a problem, and he sees a little bit more than what he's supposed to. What are you supposed to say to that? What are you supposed to say to Hacksaw after that?
I don't know.
Sorry?
That's why you don't banana hammocks, anything like that. Like you got to be careful about that because it's all about fashion faux pas or what do they call it, wardrobe accidents. It's just like, it was embarrassing.
When Sean wore his trunks, it wasn't a banana hammock, it was a pea pod hammock.
What Sean's wrestling name was before we move on.
I agree. We have to complete this tale with, what was your name, wrestling name there, Sean?
I'm a Fijian through my mom. Yeah,
okay.
Fijian. But
your dad?
My dad was Scottish and French.
Oh,
Man.
okay.
What do you think I get the Vancouver from?
Well, I thought you cultured. I thought you culturally appropriated Fiji. So
I just took a French name along. My dad just took it. He was named by a French slave trader.
Okay. So what was your wrestling name?
That's more plausible than your actual story, Sean. Just to be
right?
honest.
I don't know. Anyways, it was the Fijian warrior master of the Fijian death grip.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's actually not Fijian. He's actually Indian. His mom was just from Fiji. So.
See, and that's what I wanted to say. Like
for a century, yes. But for a century.
Because you're actually East Indian descent, correct? The bloodline.
Yes.
Yeah, so you culturally appropriated Fiji.
Yes. So we had no choice. Our family had no choice. It was, brought over.
Oh, yeah. Before we move on, Donald wants to know, did Hacksaw win the match, or did you win?
Of course he won the match.
Yeah, okay.
He was the face in that. They paid him $1,000.
Wow.
Who am I? Yeah.
You're the guy that got 2 cheeseburgers out of the deal. That's who you are.
Here's your meal with Hacksaw.
And he's never looked back. He hasn't stopped eating those cheeseburgers. Okay. You guys run a podcast called the A and B Show, so that is A as in Canadian, A, E-H, and B as in Brad. So, Brad, that's the letter of your name, which I like. But Sean, I guess, is representing Canada. I don't know why that is, but whatever. See, like you took B because it's Brad, right? Yeah, and he took A.
Brad or boys, yeah.
But I mean, A.
Yeah, there's 2 of us, and one of us is A. The other one is B.
Yeah, but Sean has to represent Canada. All right, we're in trouble if that happens. Okay, so you guys agreed to come on the Rambo podcast. Did you guys have a chance to watch or see some of the previous episodes so you see how it's run?
Yeah, I had a look.
I did my homework, Ryan.
Okay, good. It makes my job a lot easier when my co-hosts know what they're doing, so I appreciate that. Brad, we'll start with you. What's your love or hate of the Rambo film in general?
My fandom with Sly, I think, is the rest of the mid-40s folks. We grew up with it. Anything Sly, we watched. I revisit it every now and again. I'm not as proficient as you are. I feel a little bit slow here, so we'll see how it all pitches together. Love the first two Rambos. I think those are the spots. I think, to the point made in your previous episode, the rest of the Rambos are money grabs, and good for them. Well, I'll say this. At least Sly hasn't gone the Steven Seagal route, where the money grabs are painfully obvious. At least there's entertainment value in the rest of the Rambos, but one through two are there. Yeah,
sure. Well, that's fair, and I think that's shared by most fans. I would say casual fans. I don't mean that as an insult, but most people that have watched the franchise at least once are like, oh yeah, the first two kind of stand on their own. The first one being the drama that is, the second one for the 80s action stellar film that it is, and then 3, 4, and 5 have their own fans as well. Yeah, there's people that like part 3 more than others. People that like part 4 the best. There's people that like the 5th one even. So, I'm going through all the films despite people's love or hate of the franchise. That's what makes the show interesting, is we get different voices.
Right. And I wouldn't say that I have a hate for it. I just I'll watch it, right? I just won't seek it out, and it is what it is. The interesting thing, though, that I would say about 3, 4, and 5, and I think it's even along with the Rocky series, is that there's such an art of storytelling that if you really sit and watch, if you're just watching it for action, you'll miss some of these points, right? But there's things that have happened along the way, specifically even in Rambo 3, where we're really seeing some life lessons that you can learn, right? About like your only male role model that maybe isn't your family, and how that'll draw you into some decisions that you wouldn't have made normally, and then how those things kind of show themselves. So I think there are some learning moments, and that's what I appreciate about Sly the most, is that most of his movies have some sort of life-giving lesson in them if you're willing to pay attention and look past the action.
Absolutely. Sly loves those life lessons. It's been a while since you've seen it. Did you do a recent rewatch or?
Yeah, I clipped through it quickly on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
Yeah, okay. So it's been a while
I've seen it. I hadn't seen it for years before, and I didn't want to be completely outclassed.
Oh, that's don't.
Sean. No, not by you. Listen, I'm happy to be outclassed by you, Ryan. I didn't want to be outclassed by Sean. That's just my own personal standard. So I breezed through real quick. I'm an American. I'm competitive.
It's true.
Sean's point. So that's why I'm trying to be your favorite guest on this episode. And then,
it's already happened.
Thank you.
You're such a suck up.
Great talking to you guys. I'm 41. See you guys.
See ya. Thanks for hanging out, Brad. We'll see you later. Leave on a high note. Sean, same thing. Sly, the Rambo franchise, and this film, and give me a general overview of your fandom.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you and I, we know each other. We've discussed this at great nauseum. So it started for me, Rocky II, because I remember when I was a young kid, it was like, has to be the early 80s, and it was showing on like City TV, right? Remember City TV, late night movies? I don't know. You're from Victoria. I don't think they had City TV out there. Did they?
Yeah, City TV. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I had City TV on the west coast of the United States. So let's not slow down.
Yeah, well, Moses Neimer, he put his imprint on everything there, right? So anyways, I'm watching Rocky II. I'm there going, this is the greatest movie ever made. My 8-year-old self is thinking, this is the greatest movie ever made. Now, it was a little bit longer when I ended up seeing Rocky 1, and I was so shocked that he lost. It's like, what? But then how do you set up a Rocky 2, right? And then you had Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, and then, of course, the Creed movies and all that, and Rocky Balboa, right? But, like, that got me into, then I remember it was 1981, and the movie network started, right? Like, it just started in Canada. That was like a big to-do. TSN came out. Remember that? Everything, much music. It was like bang, 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 bang. Right? We're old. So so I remember here I am watching First Blood on the movie network because I was getting babysat because there's no way my parents would have let me watch that. Here I am, a kid. This is why I'm watching it. Now, Rambo 2, I wanted to watch it so bad. My parents wouldn't let me watch it because there's too much blood and everything. So I ended up taking the book out of the library, Rambo 2. I read the book. I read the book. This is how pathetic I was. I wanted to be John Rambo. I remember I was walking around trying to figure out which bark is like the good bark to eat and stuff like that. What's the stuff that you could eat that makes a billy goat puke? It's like, what's that stuff? I was really let down by Rambo 3. I was just looking at Colonel Troutman walking around, like at least in First Blood, he looked like somebody that could have been a Green Beret and maybe kicked your ass. By the third one, he's looking like some French cook. That beret was horribly foreign, Ryan. I'm looking at that beret. It's like he just put it on his head like it's like some sort of beret that is just like I'm a pizza maker. And he's making poutine at La Fleur's. It's like, who is this guy? What? And then he's getting captured? What the heck? You trained John Rambo, you're getting captured?
Hey, Brad, remember when I said to Sean, same thing, give me your general overview of your fandom of, and I got the life story of his babysitter. Yeah. I don't know how you do this show with him every week.
It's hard. He just comes over with his microphone and asks, and I just feel bad.
Anything else you want to share, Sean, about your history, your childhood history?
No. I just want to say that Rambo 3, do you know that Rambo 3 was the most expensive movie? It beat the Blues Brothers at that point in time. That was the most expensive movie made.
I didn't know that, actually. Thank you for sharing.
Did you know that? It broke Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers was the most expensive movie ever made up until that point.
Really?
And you know what broke Rambo 3 after that?
Titanic?
No. Kevin Costner. It was a Kevin Costner flick.
Waterworld?
Yeah, Waterworld.
That's crazy that Rambo 3 lasted that long, because Waterworld was in my teenage years. And, Rambo 3 was when we were 4, Ryan, so it's crazy that Sean...
No, I'm a little bit older than you. I was 13 when this came out.
5? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You was older than Sean?
I'm older than Ryan, yeah.
I think by 2 years. I think you're 50 now, aren't you?
I am 50.
And you have taken care of yourself, my friend. I figured we were the same.
I'm 47, I know. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just to try to get us back on track. You think that Sly would bring in military experts to kind of talk about, because I think that's like the main difference between him and Seagal is like the Seagal stuff is so far-fetched. At least with Sly, you always like, oh, that's plausible that could take that down. There's no shooting down helicopters with handguns.
Right. I think it depends on the film. I think the fourth Rambo film might have been more "quote unquote" realistic with the damage that people were taking with the 50 cal and things like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, Stallone has said in recent interviews that yes, it's laughable that he was running around with no shirt on. They wouldn't fight that way, but he definitely. I would say this about the Rambo films or the Rambo character is his honoring, or he does it for the soldier. Like it's an entertainment film, just like John Wayne being a cowboy. He's not a real cowboy, but it's paying homage to.
Hey.
What?
Sacrilege.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. The point is he has a love for the service people, but I don't think a lot of it's realistic. No.
It was the 80s. There wasn't a lot of realistic.
No. It's not like Saving Private Ryan or Saving Private Ryan. You know, they tried to showcase realism there, but no, these films were definitely entertainment. Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was buying into Rambo 2 and everything like that. Do you think he gave Sylvester Stallone a little call? Hey, more shirtless. Run around more shirtless. I want you to hold that M50.
Yes,
Make sure you're
I think Ronald Reagan wanted Sly to take off his shirt. That's my understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? Sly was under Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was like probably the second most notable action hero at that moment in that time, right?
I think Sly in the 80s was a bigger star. I think Arnold was bigger in the 90s because he had True Lies was a big one. And Sly didn't really have the big films other than Cliffhanger. I don't compare the two because I actually enjoy both. I'll drink Pepsi or Coke. Absolutely. I don't care. I actually love Arnold, but Arnold has
becomes different genres at some point too. I think that's why they don't compete as much, right? Like, you know, you put like a Van Damme and Seagal in the same category. You wouldn't put them in with Sly or Arnold.
It's like the Jackie Chan versus Jet Li discussion.
That's a legit discussion, though.
It is for another day, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not saying right now.
No, I will say this about the Sly. If anyone's listening that's coming from your podcast listeners or family or friends are listening to this episode, I will say this about Sly versus Arnold. If I was honestly, objectively, Sly is the better artist because he creates, he writes, he directs. Arnold has been in some incredible projects, of course, the Terminator, True Lies, Conan. I mean, he does some amazing, fun stuff, right? And I love those things. But Sly,
Governor. That was his
Yeah, and
best
that's
role.
pretty.
yet,
You know what? To be
probably.
honest with you, that's pretty cool. He actually gave back to America in the way that he saw that he should. Whatever the politics side you're on, here's a guy that came from a different country and served as governor. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, anyways, all things aside, both are incredible celebrities in their own right, and I don't know if we have these celebrities anymore. They're literally dying before us.
Except for Sly and Arnold, they're going. I love it. That's great.
Are you guys watching Tulsa King?
I am. I love it.
I'm
Absolutely
just
love it.
starting.
It's never too late to start, Brad. So there's no rush.
No, I just can't watch some TV shows with my children at that age.
Of course.
I gotta stay up late to watch it.
No, that's fair. Absolutely. My wife and I are the same way. Okay, so that's great. So, yeah, we'll just roll into the film. So what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to do a watch along. We're going to watch a little scene, discuss it. So, Brad, that's why you don't have to be switched on. I haven't seen this film myself in a little while, just so you know. Like, it's been a spell. Like, I've seen it many times, but I haven't seen it since doing this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of watching it with you guys, too. So we'll watch a scene, and then we'll talk about it and laugh at it or say it's cool or whatever is coming up. So we just saw the scene where Kurtwood Smith, the actor Kurtwood Smith's character, told Rambo that Troutman has been caught by the Russians. So I don't know if you guys saw that sequence of events before, of Troutman being caught, because we talked about in the previous episode how we can't believe how garbage. Sean, do you know what I'm talking about? That operation? Do you know what I'm talking about? The operation that Troutman was doing when he got caught?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Like, well,
They were trying to accomplish getting caught.
Why was he there? I have no idea.
Okay.
Why was LaFleur there? I have no idea.
Right.
No
okay.
idea.
So that was the
Hey,
discussion.
What's Red Foreman doing over there?
All right. Enough with these deep cut references. People don't know what you're talking about. Red Foreman, LaFleur.
Welcome to my world, Ryan.
my
Welcome
goodness.
to my world.
So, so that's where we last left off. So Rambo's received the news. He's asked, "Can I go in? Will you send me in?" And the government official's like, "Well, if we send you in, we don't know who you are. We'll have to. You're nobody." And Rambo's like, "I'm used to it." So, classic. That actually sounds like my military career. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares. I'm used to it. So I feel you, Rambo. I feel you. Okay, so here we go. All right, so welcome back. Those who are obviously listening to this on iTunes or watching this on YouTube, it's going to be a little bit of a jostling here. We might look a little bit different. I got a haircut since we started recording. We've changed some outfits and what have you. But what happened was, long story short, I went to go stream Rambo 3 via Netflix to, of course, Brad and Sean, and they couldn't see it. So I had to fix it, and it took a few hours, and these fine gentlemen were willing to come back on a few hours later. Thank you guys so much, and we'll just roll right into the film. So again, we're going to watch some scenes. We'll go as far as we want. We'll just see what the scene is, talk about it, and then, crack wise about whatever we see, and we'll move forward. Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
Like it.
Okay, so we're at a place called Peshawar, Pakistan, near the Afghan border. Now, is this where your people are from?
No, I'm not Pakistani. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm certain. Yeah. My cousin is, though.
Oh.
Wait. Okay. I get it.
But don't forget Peshawar, right? The Peshawarians. They're so close to Afghanistan there. Well, it says near the Afghan border, obviously. I mean, we're talking about cousins, really, is what you're talking about across.
Actually, my geography is terrible. How close are we talking?
Like, walk across.
Oh.
Yeah. The top of India there goes right into that. Like, It's crazy to think about India, and Nepal is right there. Then you go right into China. It's insane where India lies in all of that. India, obviously, when I say India, you got Pakistan on that side, right? So there's a whole other country over there as well. So
Okay. All right. So that's where we are now.
They had to do this back in the day because clearly 2 out of the 3 of us don't know our geography.
No.
And when this movie came out, no one knew their geography.
yes.
Okay, so we're seeing the hustle bustle.
Seeing a badass American walking around in Pakistan. That's the way it is. It's like, let that man walk around.
That's right.
All those people are brown. They're all kind of white. So he just mixes right in.
He's got a pretty good tan going.
He does.
Okay, so Rambo's walking the streets, but what I like is they're showing you the culture. It's bustling of activity. We have street vendors weighing things. We've got carpets or rugs being sold. We've got the woman covering their faces. It's to show that it's almost otherworldly, right? And Rambo's just walking the way he is, right? But I love how it's almost like a Star Wars scene where they're on an alien planet, but it's just Pakistan. But the way they're presenting it to the American audience, it's a different world.
How far are the Mujahideen in there?
Who?
So Russia was fighting the Mujahideen, right? And the CIA was backing them. And out of the Mujahideen is where you end up getting the Bin Laden. Bin Laden was Mujahideen.
Taliban?
Right? And then, well, that's right. That's where you get the Taliban from after the fact. Yes. Yes.
Are you trying to say that Rambo enabled the Taliban?
Yes, he could have been working with the Taliban then. Yes, exactly it. Yes.
Rocky stopped the Cold War, but Rambo's caused 9/11.
Rambo caused 9/11. Exactly.
That foreign music playing.
I think I was whistling and he's looking to see if it's for him. Like he's being catcalled on the streets of Pakistan.
Of course, Rambo's walked into what looks like some sort of armory, gun shop.
Does it look like prosthetics there? Some prosthetics as well? Like, I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, there is right there over the shoulder.
Right in front.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
it looks like prosthetics.
Oh, I guess for the soldiers, when they get their arms and legs blown off, they come.
But don't forget. Yeah,
you gotta serve all the customers, Ryan.
Don't forget that Princess Diana was walking around talking about all the landmines that was in Afghanistan back in the late 90s, right? Because of this war. Makes sense, I guess.
You know what I've just realized this movie set me up for is that I always am suspicious of just draperies over a tent, and I always think there's going to be something really cool behind there, and I'm always let down. I think it's because of these movies where like you go behind the drapes and it's armories and it's prosthetic legs or, you know, some kind of really cool bar. Alas, it's just someone who just wants to be in the dark and just is selling their wares that way.
It's some really, really misled introvert just sitting back there like, ugh.
So shake away. Shagwale. You want to buy? Many guns here.
No. I'm looking for Musa Ghani.
What's your name?
John Rambo.
Wait here.
That guy has had hours coaching from acting right there.
Sure.
That guy, that was his only line. He nailed it, eh? Wait here.
It reminds me of Bloodsport, those side actors in Bloodsport.
The monkey guy?
Okay.
You remember the monkey guy?
Oh, I remember the monkey guy. Okay.
These are the basis for all of our AI video games that have like the sideline characters.
This is where we got it from.
Yeah.
What I love is got this buff, ripped, one American guy coming into your shop, and he's like, look, I'm looking for Musana Gotti or Goody or whatever. And he's like, well, what's your name? Like, really? How many Americans looking like me are walking in asking for this contact? Oh, that American. Okay, well, we just had, well, who do you think it is?
You know, Jim Rambo was in here last week and fooled me.
He fooled me.
I wanted to make sure it was you.
Fool me again. Like, you don't have a network running around. How many white people are running around in Pakistan right now?
Yeah.
You know what I like, Ryan? Doing the emerald thing from Rambo 2, eh? From the Vietnamese
Cool.
girl there. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. I know you don't listen to my show, Sean, but we already brought that up. So thanks for revealing that.
Wow.
Too.
Wow, thanks. I do listen to your show. I like it.
It's also selling crutches right there. Look at that's amazing. There's so much going on in the background of this movie.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Look, Sean, that's your kind of place. They're pre-fit with the open-toed sandal.
Love it.
Brad, you brought up a good catch there. The prosthetic legs come with shoes because you don't want to hurt your heels walking on the ground.
Over his shoulder, I think there's a pair of socks on one. Look.
There is, right there.
You defer to phantom pain, right? When you lose a limb, you still get the phantom pain. So you get the phantom, my feet are cold. So people that lose their legs, my feet are still cold.
Makes sense.
They sell many in Afghanistan. Many landmines. Landmines.
Yeah, I told you.
What is it you want?
I was sent by Griggs.
Oh. You do not look like men Greeks sent before.
Oh, there you go. So they have had different men sent before. So Griggs, of course, is Kurtwood Smith's character, I believe. the American CIA guy or whatever, the government official. So I love how Griggs has sent people before to this establishment. He keeps sending Americans to this gun amputee shop. And I love how this guy totally boosts Rambo's ego. You don't look like because you're like this statuesque man before us. You're this godly.
He could be saying that he's shorter than the guy.
How dare you? Stallone is 6'2".
Could be saying that.
Stallone is 6'2".
In shoes with 2-inch heels in them. I was curious. I listened before, and I heard you say that there was a nod in one of the Rocky movies to his plastic surgery. I wonder if this is another shot at he's a little more higher cheekbone.
Well, that was the steroids. And
how dare you?
Yes, that's also some plastic surgery. Look at the bags under his eyes. How perfectly formed those things are.
How dare both of you? How dare both of you? Musana is about to say that you not look like you are with military. Sorry. So now the reason being is because of the long hair. So as you know, Rambo has the mullet. So the idea being Griggs has sent military people before, but they have short hair. And now, as Sean very well knows, and probably Brad does now in the Canadian forces, the Canadian military, we can have Rambo hair now.
You can have Rambo hair.
All the time?
Yeah. Rambo hair, buddy.
I knew that the American military are allowed to do that and beards when they're overseas in the sandbox, so to speak.
Right. We're allowed to have that now.
24/7.
I am Musagani. What is it you want?
Oh, Senpai Griggs.
Oh. You do not look like men Greeks sent before.
Oh man, just one
You
person.
do not look like you are with military.
I'm not.
What you are? Mercenary?
No.
You are not with military, you are not mercenary. What are you? Los tourist.
Oh, looks angry.
I'm no tourist.
I love
I like how he's not offended by Lost, but he's offended by tourists.
Yeah, I'm lost, but I'm not a tourist. I misheard Musana before. He said you don't look like the man they sent before. My apologies. So they're referring to Troutman came here before. So that Troutman looked like military. My apologies to that. So,
Did Troutman even look military with that
Yes.
beret?
Yeah.
Come on now,
Yeah,
Ryan. I would have picked up that colonel.
berets in films are usually poorly done. I agree.
They always are. Yeah. And there's some guy with a sideburns, and it's just like, and now, you know what? If you're Canadian, yeah, that makes sense. But if you're American or anything else, it's like, what the hell is this?
But I love how Rambo's like offended. Like, I don't have time to joke around. He steps forward 4 or 5 feet, gets into this guy's face a little bit, and goes, I'm no tourist. All right, relax,
But he's
Rambo.
lost. But he's lost.
But he's still lost.
Sorry.
Do you know where the American is?
Yes. In Soviet fort, near the village of Khost. 30 miles of our border. Mr. Griggs sent you the supplies you asked for. You wish to see them now?
Yeah.
All right, so he's got a shopping supply list. It's ready for
Wait a
him.
second.
Is this what you asked for?
Wait a second. Is this guy the Afghani version of Q?
Yeah, you're right. He's the Q, sure, but he's kind of like in part 2, Ko, the female. She was the ground contact for the Vietnam, and now he's the same idea. He's the local contact here to help the Americans, and they sent a shopping list supply to have ready for Rambo. So when he arrives, everything's there. So we've opened up this case. Were glow sticks newish back in 89?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That has to be a new thing then. I don't remember glow sticks before, let's say, the 90s, because that wasn't even a civilian thing, right?
Let's see what the supplies that Rambo's asked for, and let's.
Never seen these things before. What are these?
Detonators.
And this? What does this for?
It's a blue light.
What does it do?
Turns blue.
Dumbass.
I'm surprised he didn't ask what the detonators do. What do the
It
detonators
looks like he's
do?
getting ready to go to like a rave party with RC cars, is what
Sure.
I feel like when they open up that box.
I also like how he broke one, and you don't get high in your own supply, Rambo. He had to do a demonstration.
Demo. Because this guy, what does he even mean to John Rambo that he has to show him one of these blue lights? That is now something you have wasted
I know.
on your mission to explain something to this guy who you just met.
John Rambo is the original mansplainer.
That's true. Well, the idea is, too, it's kind of showing that the Afghanistan people are they're third world, they're behind on the times. The Americans have all this high tech military equipment. So this guy is seeing this military equipment so Griggs put it together. He's now opening it up. Okay.
Is this what you asked for?
Yeah, all we see is detonators, glow sticks, and C4.
That's good for any party.
Can you tell me how many more men come with us?
There's no rescue team. It's just me.
Just you. Come on, this is no good. I cannot take only one man to the fort. You need more men to help.
Greg said you take me in. Take me in.
I am needed to take medical supplies.
So again, this is that nod. It's the one-man army. This is all we need. And this guy can't believe it. He's expecting to see, 6, 7, maybe 10 guys with Rambo. It's just me.
It makes me wonder, because it's like, okay, the guy who trained him is right now captured, and it's just him going in to save the guy who trained him. I don't know.
He's going to save his father is what I think Rambo's mindset is.
That's right. It's the only father figure he's had.
I'm just there going like, okay, this is definitely 88. We know what this is about.
Can we agree that in 88 real men carried backpacks? Like there's no sling in the bag over your shoulder in 88. Look at that. You carry that thing with your hand.
He's carrying it out like this. Like he has to hold it out a little bit further than he needs to because he's got to work the lats, man. You got to work the lats at all times.
That's all trap right there, Ryan.
Exactly.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
All right, so he goes on to say, if I not take it, many people will die. Do you understand? Okay. I like the broken English they write for these guys.
Many people will die. Do you understand? Well, I do not know who you really are. But by the way you look, I can see you have no experience in war. Do you? Come on, do you?
I fired a few shots.
Okay, this is where we have to have the laugh track because, it turns blue. It's just me. I'm no tourist. And then I fired a few shots. Like all the Rambo fans, of course, who've seen the first two films, we're all, ha 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 ha, oh, Rambo. I fired a few shots, because, part 2, he destroys all Vietnam by himself. And why would this guy says he doesn't look like, no, if I showed up to this place, sure. I don't look like a warrior, but come on. To be fair to Sly and the Rambo character, he doesn't look like not a warrior. I don't know why he's saying the guy's like ripped to shreds. He's big and he's old, stone faced. The idea to say he doesn't look like a warrior is kind of silly.
This is very poor writing because you can clearly see this guy's got some training. If you or me show up, me in my current condition, we show up as like, you don't look like you've been to war. Like,
Sean, if you showed up, they would say you don't look like the Americans, period.
Come join our side.
Yeah. Why are you wearing those clothes? Change your outfit.
A few shots.
Look at the scar on his face. What do you mean you don't look like you've been to war?
Maybe you should go back home and think it all over again for a very long time.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I did think it over.
You did? Well, this is your choice.
Farrah Fawcett hair is led down the stairs.
Can we go back 10 seconds? So we have to see that hair. Look at the subtle wind blowing on his hair. Watch this.
I did think it over.
Right here, coming up.
You did?
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the blow dryer just feathering that thing out.
You think he was using Pantene for that hair, man?
That's luscious hair. Look, that is beautiful hair. That is
beautiful locks.
Whatever Dolly Parton was pitching in 1988, that's what he's using on his hair right there.
When he was on at Rhinestone, he's like, Dolly.
This is when Sly was losing hair. He was losing hair in the front. And you can see how he does that puffy in the forward, trying to how do you call it? By expanding the hair that you have and kind of fluffing it out. Yeah, you're hiding the part here that goes bald. And
he's hiding his widow's peak like that's a big...
Sly, no matter how much hair you have coming out of the back, the top is losing, brother. But it's funny. At 76 years old, he has a full set of hair. I don't know how he grew his hair back. I don't know how that happened.
It's awesome.
What's funny is the Musa character here. I will say, it's been a while since I've seen the film. I knew this guy was coming. I remember his character, of course. And I remember not kind of liking him, maybe. I don't find him as, I would say annoying is the right word, but actually kind of digging him a little bit more now in this rewatch. I think he's doing a good job with his character. But I think as a character that's a local that has to work with Rambo, I think he's legit. I think he's being fairly helpful and kind to the Rambo character. Yes, he's a bit of comic relief, I guess you could say, but it's not too much. It's not like he's Jar Jar Binks.
I agree. He's not over the top on any stretch. He's executing well.
Yeah, he's subtle about it. He's pretty easygoing, upbeat, without being 80s over the top, which I thought, so I'll give credit there for sure.
But let me tell you You cannot get this American alone. If you fail, do not blame me. I will accept no responsibility.
He's got a Casio wristwatch on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, go back. You got to see it.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's the world timer. They call it the Casino Royale watch because that was from Octopussy when he was going after the Fabergé egg.
Oh,
And it was the exact same watch.
It's American alone. If you fail, do not blame me.
Ah, I see.
I will accept no
There it is.
responsibility.
The pre-G-Shock.
So he says that I will not accept any responsibility if this mission goes to crap. If you get caught, killed, don't blame me. I love how Rambo was like, it was Musasa. It's his fault. He didn't give me enough blue lights.
Do you see all those SKSs back there?
Yeah. Now we have somebody spying. Rambo's in town. Obviously, he sticks
That's
out like so.
that's the initial guy
guy.
that was smoking the cigarette that went to get the guy.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's your name?
That's okay. So he's watching this transaction go along here. So
Yeah.
okay, we have to assume maybe he's not really on Team Rambo. I think that's what we're led to believe here. Okay.
Well, that's why he asked for his name. What's your name?
What's your name? Okay, so we're now.
Where did they get this guy from?
Okay, just wait.
Where did they get this guy from? Straight from like casting. Like, yeah, the biggest looking Russian guy you got. Who do you got there?
All right, so for our listeners, of course, so what Sean is going on about it. We now cut to the Russian base that's been. Did they make this base for the Russians, or did they overtake some sort of sandcastle? It looks like a sandcastle in the middle.
Yeah, do you think the Russians made that?
I don't know. This is the bad guy's lair. It's really kind of hokey. They have this big lair-like castle base for the Russians. And now, like what Sean's laughing at, they have this hulking Russian soldier. This guy.
And that's a towel across his shoulders in that jumpsuit. Those aren't his real traps.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's dragging Trautman. So now we're seeing Trautman being dragged by this guy. He's caught. He's alive. Not necessarily well, but let's see what happens to Trautman here. He's got like some sort of strap around his neck. So he was dragged through the hallway like a dog on a leash, but strangled as he's brought to the Russian leader. Was that a chess table that's in front of him?
Probably. It's because they're Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Yeah. He's ready for a quick game with Trautman. He's ready.
He's playing a solo game of chess.
Yeah, it looks like somebody may have been playing with him.
Or he could have just set it all up just so he could look how big my brain is.
Yeah,
that's right, Trautman. You're going to give in to me because I just put
Ryan, I don't know if you know this or not, but Sean keeps the chessboard set up in his house. I think he's just giving us a tell there for what he really, why he does it.
It's supposed to be a sign of intelligence. Like I'm such a educated, proper man that I have a chess set out ready to play. Anybody up for a game of chess? Anybody up for that now? Oh no, not okay. We'll just pour some brandy.
No one else
We'll
knows how to play.
Oh yeah. What are the rules? Is it like checkers? Oh, checkers.
There's an app for that. Sean shows me the other day. He's like, "Look at this chess app I have."
Oh,
Rank number one in my friend group. This is him in the group.
And I think the idea here, the symbology here is the Russian army, they're playing chess while the Americans are playing checkers, you know.
Checkers. His beret looks good.
It looks all right. Yeah, it does look all right.
Yeah.
Russian general guy sends the big bear
My
away.
name is Colonel Zaysin, regional commander of this sector. Do you realize you're the first American captured in Afghanistan?
Oof. Burn. Giving Trautman like kind of a burn. Congratulations, you're the first guy to get caught in Afghanistan. Oof, how does it feel?
What's a colonel doing all the way out there?
That was brought up in the previous episode, and that's a great question. I don't know. That's a high-ranking official, I believe, in the American military.
What's a colonel doing out in the front line? You are not about to see that.
No. Be the Canadian equivalent of that.
Let's just say it's a commander,
Right.
if you're talking Navy terms.
Okay.
When's the last time you saw a commander go and boarding team board a ship?
That's right. You know, it's silly that he was a part of that mission.
Yeah.
Story doesn't work, fellas.
Oh, it's a plot device, you say.
Mm.
I'm wondering he's about to say
Congratulations.
Nasarovia. Oh, no, congrats.
So he says, congratulations.
I
Drink some
believe you are
vodka.
planning to supply enemy rebel forces with Stinger missiles intended to destroy Soviet aircraft.
If I'm going to be interrogated, I want to be interrogated by your superiors.
Out here, I have no superiors.
You're a POW and you're demanding to be interrogated by somebody at least one rank higher than you. Bring the Russian general right here, right now. Come out here and interrogate me.
That's the whole idea. The idea being that this is insulting, that I'm being interrogated by somebody of a lower rank. All right, Trauman, easy. You're the first American to be caught. You're in no position to throw your weight around.
I am in full command. You are alone here.
A little bit of a film flub. The chess pieces are in different positions than they were when they started the conversation.
They were playing a little game aside.
Yeah, the camera was just looking at their head, so maybe they were like looking each other's eyes, but they were moving pieces below the camera. You're right.
I demand your superior. Check.
That's funny. They were playing eye contact chess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, look, he's got his family up here or something. What? Look at this picture up here.
Yeah.
I like it.
He only loves the boy the most. The wife and the youngest son are not his favorites.
I don't know if that's his son up there. So you got this older kind of kid, or a young adult
It's
up
the
here.
same guy that's the guy in the bottom
Right
right.
here. Yeah, with his
It's
mom.
the same guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's the same photo. It's like they cropped out that photo and they... It's the same photo. They somehow cropped out his photo, put it up. Why would you do that? I really like this
more
kid.
than he loves the baby of the family. Like, listen,
Here's my two kids, and here's my, looks like an attractive wife, but I really am proud of my son. It's the same picture. Okay, look at the photo. He looks like he's 30.
Yeah.
But then they make him short looking in the other photo. They make him look like he's 12.
They're trying to hide the sweater.
Yeah.
The stripe of the sweater in the top photo, but it's like they do a really bad job of it. I don't know. For being the most expensive movie made at that time period, it's like they really didn't put their minds into this. I don't know.
they probably didn't know the camera trick, the mirror camera trick at that point. That's probably where the camera was.
Oh, yeah.
Abandoned by your government.
What do you want?
Cooperation.
Now, he says abandoned by your government. Now, this is kind of a replay of the events of Part 2. Rambo was abandoned by his government, caught by the Russians there in Vietnam. Then he was tortured. I mean, Trauman's about to be tortured. They're both caught and tortured by the enemy, by the Russians, actually, in just two different countries. Yeah, so I love how they said it in both films. These prisoners have been abandoned. Do they say this to every POW that gets caught? You've been abandoned. No, I got caught. I wasn't abandoned.
This sector has been under total control for over 5 years. There is little more I can do here. It is, as you say, without challenges.
So what I love here is the history lesson. We have Lenin in the background.
Yep.
No Stalin, and not even the current leader. It's like, well, we just had to throw Lenin. We just...
This
There's also a baby photo.
There is a
Oh.
baby photo up there. Is that a grandkid, or is that the son when it was a baby? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. But we on to the Lenin. And this is a picture from 1863 of Lenin, baby Lenin.
And there is some sort of like news article that he's posted to his wall. It
Yeah.
looks like- is that his favorite teacher won Teacher of the Year award or something? I don't.
Yeah.
Some lady.
It looks like it's next to like a Dr. Pepper ad. Is that a bottle of Dr. Pepper on the wall?
No, that's something from Moscow. That's
Yeah, it
one
looks
of
like a
them-
building. It looks like a phallic
Yeah.
shaped building for sure. Look at the head on that thing.
You can see it. Looks like a 2-liter bottle of soda.
If you supply to
Probably
me
a photo of Putin as a
information
baby
about
on the wall, isn't it?
Oh, maybe it could be.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind if Rocky and Rambo are in the same universe, keep in mind Rocky 3 years previous to the events in this film ended the Cold War. Just keep that in mind.
It is, as you say, without challenges. If you supply to me worthy information about more Stinger missiles you are planning to deliver, it could provide a way out of this for us both. After all, in the end, what everyone really wants is peace.
The Kremlin's got a hell of a sense of humor.
This guy thinks he's got Stinger missiles coming through, which I don't understand. I don't get what Colonel Trauman could actually say to this guy. Okay, fine. we're bringing Stinger missiles. You bet. Buy the truckloads. Do you think these Stinger missiles are just going to be out in the open somewhere that he can just go pick up? If they truly had Stinger missiles, you would suspect they're going to be under heavy guard by American soldiers. How would Troutman's information even saying, fine, they're 20 kilometers to the north, they're going to be on the roadway 5 o'clock tomorrow, good luck grabbing them from the American brigade that's carrying the weapon? And the second thing is, why are we transporting these missiles through the land? Can't we fire these things from a long ways away? Now, I don't know what the range of Stinger missiles are, but I suspect they're more than a couple miles. You don't even have to be near the base. You can fire these things off from a distance.
Trying to think with Russia, they're right above there, right? So they could, the U.S. was delivering these missiles there. It would be for the Mujahideen, and then it's just like, okay, where are they putting them? I don't know. That's probably why that they're trying to bring them into the region. That's the only thing I can think of.
So it's about 5 kilometers, so not as long as I thought. Quick Google search, 5 kilometers is the range of Stinger missiles. All right, fair enough. But again, they're going to be guarded. These aren't just out in the open where you can pick them up. How do they carry these things?
At night with their lights on. They carry them at night with their lights on, like we've previously seen in this film.
Yeah,
So
they put the blue
execute
lights on the missiles. Yeah, it's... The thing is, these missiles, if they're in the area, it's irrelevant. You can't do anything about it. You can't just grab them like ammunition on the ground. Like, these are missiles.
No. What I love about a Russian officer here is that his accent falls into British and then comes back to Russian. You know, it's like it's flimsy. It's flimsy.
Yeah, it's not bad. Better than I could do. But yeah, he might be a British actor.
Well, obviously, you never listened to, what is it, Billy Crystal's whole entire thing about just saying locker books.
No, I missed that one, Sean.
Yeah, you could say locker books.
Maybe for your next podcast series, Ryan, you can do the great action star Billy Crystal and diagnose this film.
Wasn't he in, what one is he in? No, that wasn't
the one
Scared.
with the dancer. The dancer.
Analyze this.
Analyze this, analyze that. But he was with that dancer. And I can't remember what the heck that movie was called right now for the life of me. Where they're playing cops. Yeah.
Okay. I'll save it for an episode.
Please explain.
You talk peace and disarmament to the world. And here you are wiping out a race of people.
We are wiping out no one. I think you are too intelligent to believe such absurd propaganda. Now again, where are the missiles?
I don't know anything about any missiles.
I'm sorry.
My history of this isn't very good. Were the Russians there wiping out Afghanistan? That's what they were doing?
They're trying to conquer. They wanted Afghanistan. It's a strategic area. It's a strategic area to have for Russia, right? That's why they still have their little land bases in Syria right now. They're trying to make inroads in that area because they have nowhere else. They're landlocked up at the top. So Afghanistan would have been a very vital area to have. But Afghanistan has been at war for like 1,000 years. Can't beat these people. This is what they do. It's like, oh, you come? You want to take us over? We're going to fight.
Didn't Bush do shock and awe?
Well, that's the thing is that the U.S. that comes in, it's like shock and awe. You're committing genocide. Wait a second. We bombed some innocent people ourselves. It's like...
Shock and awe.
Weapons of mass destruction.
That's right. They're there. Oh, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the missiles, the weapons of mass destruction that Rambo left behind. Okay.
I like how he pronounces missiles back at him, you know what I mean? Like how he says it, where it's like plausible deniability, like with your kids, you know? They say the pronunciation wrong, and they're like, no, I didn't say dollars, I said doll hairs. You know what I mean? Like
there you go. That's right. I don't know anything about any missiles. Right. Now, Troutman is telling the truth. It always helps when you're being interrogated to use truth because you sound more believable when you're telling the truth. Troutman actually doesn't know. He's not there about missiles. He's actually here to kill this guy. That was the mission, I believe, was to take this guy out. I believe that was the mission.
I think you are too intelligent to believe such absurd propaganda. Now again, where are the missiles?
I don't know anything about any missiles.
Of course you do. But you do not seem to realize I'm providing a way out for us both.
You expect sympathy? You started this damn war. Now you have to deal with it.
And we will. It is just a matter of time before we achieve a complete victory.
You know there won't be a victory. Every day your war machines lose ground to a bunch of poorly armed, poorly equipped freedom fighters. The fact is that you underestimated your competition. If you'd studied your history, you'd know that these people have never given up to anyone. They'd rather die than be slaves to an invading army.
Oh, wow.
It's very prophetic.
Right, because of the Ukraine war. It's almost like you could use that dialogue for the Ukraine war.
Or even America going up and trying to fight these guys in Afghanistan. It's like, we can't beat them.
Disagree to disagree on what the war means.
Right. Fair enough. But they would rather die than be slaves to any invading army. Well, that's true. I mean, that goes for any country, I would say. I would be the same way if a country truly decided to invade Canada or the U.S. Yeah, I would use whatever means was in my house or whatever means necessary to not be a slave. But that goes for most humans. Most humans would rather die than be a slave to anyone. So, or, captors, so to speak. So I know it's kind of hammy dialogue. I know it's a bit of politicizing, but I really like Richard Crenna. I think he's a great actor, and he just really hams up that dialogue. It's that type of speech that he's speaking to the Russian leader, but he's also speaking to the audience in the theaters. And I like the way he delivers it. Had he decided to be a politician, the same Richard Crenna, let's just say he decided to be a politician, he would be a great speaker.
Is that you underestimated your competition. If you'd studied your history, you'd know that these people have never given up to anyone. They'd rather die than be slaves to an invading army. You can't defeat a people like that. We tried. We already had our Vietnam. Now you're going to have yours.
So, you wish to test me? Good.
Good. I love that where he's telling this Russian guy, like, look, we had our Vietnam. We know what it's like to be visitors in another country that we don't know, and you're going to lose a lot of people trying to fight for something that's not yours. You'll never hold on to it, even if you were to, quote, win. You're never going to keep these people in check.
The U.S. had North Korea, the Korean conflict that ended up in a stalemate. They had Vietnam where they had to leave. They had Afghanistan where they had to leave. The U.S. knows. They know. And now Russia has Afghanistan, so they both treaded the same ground there. Now Ukraine, it's like, okay, you world powers, take it easy. Huh? Take it easy.
This is actually a question I had on one of my other podcasts. I do the Worst of the Best podcast. My brother and I do that one together. And we had the question that I actually don't know the answer to. And this is a serious question. Don't be long if you know the answer. I'm just curious. What is the end goal that he has?
The only thing I could tell you about Putin's end goal on that, but I think he just wants to bring back the CCCP. When you start putting missiles on top of places, and then Ukraine was like talking about joining NATO, it scared him. Because if you have a look at just in that region there that he ended up coming in and taking the Donbass region, if you have a look at that, that's how Hitler was able to go straight into Moscow, because there was no mountains, no nothing. It's just all valley, right? Okay. It's just all. That's what they were worried about, is that's an area there that you can end up going straight into Moscow if you ended up just coming and militarizing on us. I know that's why he ended up taking the Donbass region, but why did he end up starting the whole entire thing after that? It's because I think he's probably got syphilis or something and he's going a little mad. I don't know.
Okay.
My thought is that I think that he has some health issues and is on his way out, and his goal is to create as much chaos as he can. I think he's probably trying to draw other countries into a war just to cement his legacy as the greatest Russian leader.
Yeah, with the Ukraine war, it's just so messy that I'm actually confused. I wish there was some sort of machine I could type in the question and find out, but
there's a lot to talk about that.
Yeah,
but I don't.
History is written by the victor.
That's right.
Yeah,
and we're watching a true documentary here, so let's watch what happened here between Russia and Afghanistan. So, oh, more strangulation.
I think he would know that word by now, because I think they probably yelled it a lot trying to get him down the street if you looked at all the bruises on his neck.
What the word of the command was that the guy's name, or Barushkia, strangle him, go to it? Didn't say in the subtitles what he actually said. It would be,
yeah, it's probably he just talked gibberish there, and then it's like, we don't know what he said. So
funny enough that you say that again. Talk about Rocky IV. Remember the end of the movie where Rocky says, "If you can change, everyone can change." And he has that Russian translator. A friend of the show told me that he has a friend who speaks Russian. His friend told him that it was basically gibberish.
Probably what a lot of those guys in the 80s are. Yeah, guy who speaks Russian. It's like that sign language guy that got up in front of Barack Obama. Oh, yeah, I interpret. Yeah.
All right, so now we see Rambo and his guide, Masusa, whatever his name is, 4 horses.
They're like taking a tour through like southern Utah, looks like.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I wonder where this is filmed. Yeah, we're going through this to the wilderness, so to speak, in Afghanistan with horses, kind of like Lord of the Rings style. They're traveling through the mountains of Mordor.
I could guarantee you it's not filmed in like Afghanistan.
Probably not Afghanistan, but
yeah.
A better podcaster in a podcast would have this kind of information for a Rambo podcast, but I don't. But I love this scenery shots, and we get that kind of flourish of the music. It's very epic, as they travel.
Israel, Thailand, and that's Arizona there, buds.
So Arizona, wow, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Afghanistan.
Does that look like a real landscape, or is that what do you call the mats or M-A-T-T-E painting?
No, I know what you're talking about. They're just like walking into some place that's just on the studio.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a real footage of land there, does it?
That could be Flagstaff.
No.
Alexander the Great. He tried to conquer Flagstaff.
Let's hear this history lesson that Musasa is going to give. So they're overlooking this big vast land of nothing.
This is Afghanistan. Alexander the Great tried to conquer this country. Then Genghis Khan. Then the British. Now Russia. But Afghan people fight hard. They never be defeated. Ancient enemy, make prayer about these people. You wish to hear?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. It says, may God deliver us from the venom of the cobra, teeth of the tiger, and the vengeance of the Afghan. You understand what this means?
That you guys don't take any shit.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's so good. It's so good.
They broke that one down, man.
Rambo, just with the one-liners, this episode in particular, just the one-liners coming out of him. What do you say, Sean? Which is a better prayer? The prayer of the Afghani people or the prayer of Crom?
My gosh. No, the prayer of Crom. The prayer of the Afghani people sounds like when I was in Mombasa meeting that one guy that had a tattoo of a cobra and telling me why he has a tattoo of a cobra, because he ate the blood of a cobra. It's
wow.
It's like, what?
Do you want to remind the listeners the prayer of Crom?
Oh my gosh, I'd have to look that up right now. I haven't recited the prayer of Crom.
Okay, well, you look it up. You look it up because I think it's important that the listeners understand, so they can make a decision too which prayer is better.
Yes. Something like this. We go now.
Okay, so of course we've seen now a helicopter flying around. They're nearing enemy territory. So Musasa's like, we got to move along. We got to keep moving. So Sean, I want to hear the rendition of.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it here.
All right. Before you read it, get yourself ready. I want to hear the prayer again, just so we can hear it back to back.
Ancient enemy, make prayer about these people. You wish to hear?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. It says, may God deliver us from the venom of the cobra, teeth of the tiger, and the vengeance of the Afghan. You understand what this means?
That you guys don't take any shit.
Okay, so now, Sean, are you ready for the prayer of Crom?
Crom, I have never prayed to you before. I have no tongue for it. No one, not even you, will remember if we were good men or bad. Why we fought and why we died. All that matters is that today two stood against many. Valor pleases you. So grant me this one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, the hell with you.
Beautiful.
Video and audio is just like 2 seconds off. It was hilarious to watch that glitch.
Yeah, Sean has a bit of a lag. You get lag on that side too, Brad?
I can see it.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Any which way.
Beautiful. I will say the prayer to Crom is pretty powerful. It's hard to beat. Nothing beats praying to your God and just saying, if you don't give me what I want, to hell with you. That's how my kids ask for Christmas gifts every year.
Mm-hmm.
To hell with you, Dad.
Before we close, I want you guys to say again where people can find you on your socials, on Facebook, and what your show is about. I don't think we quite said at the beginning what your show is actually about. So,
Hey, Sean and I co-host the A&B Show. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast, socials, the A&B Show, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are where we live the most. We cover most sports, and there's always some general shenanigans, lots of laughs. Check us out if you have a chance. Love to see you. And thanks as always for being so gracious.
I suspect there's Rambo listeners. Look, if you're a Rambo fan of my show and you're a fan of sports. I suspect there might be some overlap.
Also, tackle the hard-hitting questions like, is a hot dog a sandwich or not? Soup is just hot cereal.
Today, I asked Brad if he would do Blue Angel at a campfire.
Are you talking about lighting your fart?
Yes.
All right, guys, maybe don't listen to their show. I'm sorry. I don't know why I had them on. I apologize. Sean just drug down the quality again.
You want to go for that episode that's dropped today just to hear my response, because it did not disappoint. I didn't take kindly to on suggesting I put my ankles behind my ears in any form of evangelization.
Oh, Sean, love you. All right, guys, it's been truly an absolute pleasure having you guys on the Rambo podcast. I should say that I've been on your podcast a few times, so anyone listening to the Rambo podcast and they like me, I don't know why you do, but if you like me, you want to hear me on their show, I've been on their show a couple of times. You'd have to go back to the archives to see which episodes they were. And I guess some of the news might be out of date, but, still fun times to talk about sports because I know nothing about sports, so other than my hockey team. Okay, so other than that, that is it. Thanks, guys, for coming on, but the episode is over.
I didn't ask you. You asked me. You started this podcast.
Hey, nothing is over. Nothing. Just don't turn it off.